Hi guys, today is November 23rd, 2017, and I had an epiphany a few months ago. I woke up in the middle of the night, um, kind of got freaked out with what came to my mind. Not a scientist or anything like that, but I would like to contribute a hypothesis on quantum mechanics that did just strike me. And I was just trying to find out a little more about what came to me, but I'm unable to find any information on it. Um, a lot of people think quantum mechanics is not real or it won't work or can't figure out how to make it work, but I have a hypothesis on how to get it to work. Um, I was looking for information on it. Like I said, I can't find anything on it. There is actually a few machines you can make that I think would help contribute to quantum mechanics, the theory. Right now, all everybody has is a math problem. That's it. Nobody has anything. You've seen things on TV, the flux capacitor, this or that. You keep seeing the time machine on. It's kind of close to it, but I kind of actually think I might have figured something out, and I have a way to relate the information. So, like I said, I woke up in the middle of the night. I was kind of startled when I woke up. It hit me like a bolt of lightning at about 12 a.m. The theory was, well, it's not a theory, it's a hypothesis. Theories are actually, you can pretty much prove them. It's pretty close. All right, let me get to the system. My hypothesis, I would like to name it MirelRyu Field theory. So MirelRyu field theory. In my theory, well, my hypothesis, not a theory, I'm sorry, field hypothesis. I found that there was somebody who traveled through time, and all in nature, all we do is mimic things that do things, and then we want to copy it. So if a bird flies, we want to do that, but we need a bird to show us how to do it. If we want to swim, we copy fishes. If we want to do this or that, everything is built on mimicking something that already did it. So I had remembered that back in the 1990s, I think, that they had said something about a Russian astronaut who traveled through time. His watch was actually a few minutes off or a few seconds off. He had been in space for a while. He was the only one to travel through time that I'm aware of. And I tried looking his name up. It's not in the books. I can't find it anywhere. Maybe somebody could help me by posting the link. But when I thought about it, like I said, it kind of hit me. He traveled through time because of the Earth's gravitational field. But not just the Earth's gravitational field. There's other fields. There's an electro field, there's a heat field, a noise field, like I said, a gravity field, and there's light field, and there's noise fields. I don't know how many fields there are, but I know there's fields. Now, if you think about it, time, they say, is a wave. So, what would distort a wave? Another wave. So, an electromagnetic field could penetrate through a wave. Can a light field penetrate through a sound wave? Yes. But what would distort a sound wave? What would distort any other field is another field that would come close to it. So right now there's no such thing as a artificial gravity field. There's no machine that can do that. So we have to think of it like an electric motor. For those of you who understand electric motors, you spin a motor one way and you use electricity. You spin a motor another way, the reverse way, and the motor creates electricity. So if we could figure out exactly what field could actually distort time, my hypothesis is that you would find the axis of time, where time really doesn't exist, it can't penetrate. It would be like a bubble. So if you find the axis of time where time doesn't exist, because you have a field around you, you would actually be going through time. But you need to understand how the fields work. Most people just have it, like I said, in a math equation, but they can't figure a real machine that would do this. You would need multiple machines. You would need to find a electromagnetic field machine that would create electromagnetic energy. You would need, the sun creates its own field, the heat field creates a field, and a different type of, magnetic field. I'm not too sure exactly how this would work, but in my hypothesis, you could put these machines around you, spin them around like, I guess they do it in all the movies where there's huge machine is spinning and creating the field all around you, which actually, could help you to pull away from the time field. So if you pull away from the time field, all you need to figure out is how to fine-tune the field in order to go back or forward through time. Again, the hypothesis isn't perfect. I'm not really, deep into science, but I do understand that in order to break a time field, which has waves, you would need another type of field that could penetrate through the time field. So we have to figure out all the fields, and to figure out all the fields, there's no information on this at all. I cannot find anything on this. They only have the gravitational field, a heat field, noise field, gravity field, light field, and that's about it. I know there's other fields. There's way more other fields. There's microprocessors that create, sporadic electricity, that build some type of field as well. Like a Wi-Fi router can push energy back and forth to your computer through code, but there is microprocessors do create, energy that they're actually being used through. So that would probably be the easiest way to actually mimic something like that. But like I said, it would take a very huge amount of energy. Or maybe not. Maybe as long as you can penetrate through the field. We don't know if there's a field that can penetrate through the time field. So, like I said, this astronaut was in space. He managed to go a few minutes ahead in time by going around the Earth at a certain speed. So, like I said, he went around the Earth. Like I said, he was on a fan or an electric engine, you spin it a certain way. He was on the outside spinning, and he went ahead in time. So I don't think it works that if you spin backwards. I don't think that works. I think you can reverse some type of polarity in a field, or make one field stronger than the other, and you could actually go back. But no one has ever done that, like I said. And I don't know if it's possible to do that, but I know it would be possible to, not impossible, but it's probable that you could actually slow it down. So slowing down time would be a very interesting thing, and you would have to need fields. So this would add like kind of a hypothesis to the quantum mechanic theory that you might guys want to look into. And if you guys know any other fields that exist that make some type of energy, you could let me know, because this is all based on two things. One is an electromagnetic engine, and two is the same thing they use for a explosion, for a nuclear explosion. A nuclear explosion, they put all the hot metals together, which makes a nuclear explosion work. So they get plutonium, radium, all these these hot metals, put them together and compress them. Okay, so it makes an extreme force of energy. So what to say if you don't make these fields and find a way to tune them up, since they're all fields, and a nuclear bomb takes separate types of metals to make it work. There's just something missing there that I can't really get, but If anybody knows of anything that would help that, I don't think we're far off from a first time traveler, or at least to stall time. Again, it might not even stall time. It might actually, punch a hole through a dimension. We don't know exactly what fields do what, but if a certain field can stop time, that same field would actually be able to punch through maybe another dimension if they do exist, which Einstein said, anything that you can think of pretty much exists. But his theories were very sound. He was just missing the mechanical components. He had the mathematical components down, but like I said, he was missing the hardware, the machines that do this. And again, I don't know a machine that can make a gravitational field. I know there was one that they tried to make a very long time ago by the Russians or the Germans, and it didn't work. So the only way to do that is to go into space, spin something and let it catch speed, where it actually spins so fast that it would make a gravitational field, or a machine out there that could hook to something and get it to spin fast enough that it would make its own gravitational field. But I don't know anything like that exists right now. It would take a tremendous force of energy to keep it going, keep it in orbit, and then you could practically travel through time but in space. So that might be interesting. And all the technology we have right now has nothing like this. But again, if you put everything that I just told you together, the compression of fields and fields, together, you could possibly maybe distort time a little bit, shake it up, punch a hole through it. But the only thing that does it, time is its own wave, so it needs to be punched through it. So only thing that can do that is a field, and you need to direct it a certain way. But to understand fields, there's no information on them. I can't find anything. So like I said, there's a few different fields that I know, but I know there's machines that make electromagnetic fields, EMPs. So that would probably be a good starting point. That's the main thing. And again, this is the MirelRyu hypothesis. I'm sorry, the MirelRyu field theory. Field hypothesis. It's brand new. Sorry, guys. MirelRyu field hypothesis, and I came up with this on 11/23/07. And I don't know if there's anything else like this. If I'm not the first person who has ever thought of this, please let me know. But I'm pretty sure, this just came to me. So, study fields, and maybe you can invent the force field, But mainly, the idea of these things is actually very, very interesting, considering there is a lot of different fields out there. There's an electromagnetic field. It's just I think a normal electric field. I'm not too sure. I think there's an ionic field. There's a bunch of different ones out there. No one has really ever studied them. So if you can get obsessed with this, I'm pretty sure you can figure something out. But I think you have to punch a hole through it in order to get it to work. And time has energy. We're going through time, so it must have energy because it has. We're going through it, So sometimes you feel like time's slowing down. Maybe it is, or maybe it's just you noticing. You don't know. Your perception of time. We feel things that we don't know. Fish pick up electromagnetic fields in the water. When there's a hurricane coming, they know to get out of the way. They pick up on these things, and I think so do we. But we don't really notice it too much. We notice it in our perception on time, like, oh wait, today's felt real slow today. Or, dang, the day went by so fast. We pick up on it in that way. We don't pick up on it, and there's no way to measure it. I'm pretty sure it does pick up speed and it slows down. Again, why we're at this time in this moment now thinking about this, it's very interesting. Okay, so if anybody wants to contact me, go ahead and contact me, send me out a message, and if you have any theories that could contribute to this, but come on, don't go all out and show me something that's not really, they can't contribute to this. It's just something that's made up, but think about it for a while, ask a few people, and tell me your theories about fields, or your hypothesis. Theories mainly almost proven, a hypothesis can change. My hypothesis is able to change on this, but like I said, everything is about fields and generators. So if you can make a generator for a certain field, you practically kicked off what you need to do. So there's an EMP generator that generates EMPs. It takes a lot of energy to do it, but it can be done. It's already been done. There's even little machines like the Ionic Pro that actually electrify the air in that area. So it's building a field, an electric field as well. Like I said, these things exist already. Just gotta figure out how to balance it. And like I said, this might sound crazy, but I believe that it will contribute to the theory of quantum mechanics. So if you guys have anything, that you might want to contribute, any information, I would appreciate to, like to hear what you guys have to say. So, distort time travel, traveling through other dimensions, other realms, or, even like the movies say, you can travel through a black hole through one space to another. You could possibly make it if you make two fields and, direct them at each other. You could possibly punch, that small black hole come out of the side of your house. It's, far off, but, it's a starting point, and no starting point is ever crazy. When they invented the car, they had a starting point. Everything has a starting point. So, take what you learn and push it farther, and that should be able to help you out in understanding. The main theory of understanding is the deepest part that you can understand, where it cannot go any further, is usually the truth. So I can't go any further than fields. So to me, this is the truth. Fields can break away from time, and if you can distort this, who knows what you'll see. I mean, if there's a wave around you, you can actually see what's really present around the wave, things that we don't see that are actually there. So, another theory I had is, if you're doing this and you have to go through fields in order not to be radiated or feel pressure through like the gravitational field, you can actually put yourself in water, like in a huge tank, and submerge yourself to not feel these while you're in the middle of this field. But to spin all these fields, the magnetic field, the electric field, the heat field, and the noise field, the gravity field, the light field, to make a machine that does everything will distort something. Like I said, it's never been done. I have never heard of anybody doing this. And imagine all these generators all around you spinning in a certain frequency, could practically distort you from it. So I wouldn't say to do it, but think about it for a little while before you criticize or say anything bad about this video. But again, I did think about this, and I named it the MirelRyu Field hypothesis, and I did that on 11/23/17. And like I said, if anybody has any information, just hit me up, because I do have a lot more that I would like to contribute, but some things are better left unsaid. So hit me up. Peace out.